I'm Abigail, this is James, and welcome to another Two Kids interview.
We are joined by the husband, wife, author, illustrator, book team, Matthew Swanson and Robbi Behr.
They have written a number of picture books, as well as a middle grade series, the Cookie Chronicles and the Real McCoys.
Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having
welcome,
us.
friends. Yes.
Before anything else, we need to talk about the last year.
The two of you, your 4 kids, and your dog lived on a school bus and went on a bus load of book tour.
Please tell us about that.
All right. There's so much that we could say.
I know. We visited all 50 states.
We did.
We lived in our bus.
Our bus was 23 feet long.
And there was no bathroom in it.
It had a little tiny kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
We have 4 kids and 2 dogs, and all of us slept in this little tiny space. Robbi and I slept in the bus, and the kids slept on the roof in a compartment that popped up when we pushed a button.
It's like a tent. It wasn't a compartment. It was like a room, a roomy, spacious tent.
One person's compartment is another person's tent. It was a little cozy for 4 people. So we had a great time. We visited elementary school in every state. We went to schools where kids might not have books already. There's a lot of places in our country where there aren't a lot of books and a lot of kids that want to read books. So we went there, we handed out books, we talked about creativity, we gave kids exercises so they could make their own stories. I had a great time.
Not like workout
like
exercises.
push-ups? No, not push-ups.
Like exercises like that.
We talked about how to make a story, how to come up with the main character, figure out what the main character wants, figure out what's trying to stop the main character from getting what they want. That's often the bad guy or the enemy. And then how the main character solves that problem and hopefully has a happy ending. We were writing happy stories for the most part.
We were. But
so anyway,
so many things we did last year. But that was the quick version.
If you want to know more, let us know what you'd like to know more about.
That sounds amazing.
Speaking of crazy, what is the craziest or funniest story that happened during the tour?
The craziest or funniest story that happened during the tour? Well, one time when we were in Vermont, we accidentally drove away and left our son Kato at a gas station.
We did do that.
But not for very long, just for a little while. But he still reminds us about that all the time. So that's one thing.
The other crazy thing that happened was we got a second dog.
We did. We were getting ice cream in Utah, and we looked out the window, and there was a puppy. And our kid said, "Can we adopt that puppy?"
In a store.
Well, but they saw the puppy
complicated process
through the window, and they said, "We need that puppy." And we said, "That's a terrible idea. Don't get a puppy while living in a school bus." And they said, "We need that puppy." And what happened was, I said, "I also need that puppy."
Yeah.
And we got that puppy.
We got the puppy.
Should I go get him? Here, I'll show him to you. Hold on.
The door right now, asking to be let.
Tell him about our helicopter ride.
And we also took a helicopter ride into the bottom of the Grand Canyon to visit a school down there. That's down there, and the only way to get there is by hiking 8 miles. Or taking a helicopter. So we took the helicopter.
We didn't want to hike 8 miles.
We did not.
Here is the ice cream puppy. His name is Goji. Do you see why we had to adopt him? He's pretty cute. Yeah. All right. Those
are the crazy stories.
Those are the craziest ones. Yeah.
There is more representation in books now than there ever has been before.
You and your books are a part of that trend. Is that something that is important to you?
I mean, I think it's important probably to everyone, yes, that like there's a whole range and variety of experiences, and that it's nice to be able to see them everywhere in all kinds of art. So yeah, it's important to us in the way that it should be important to everyone, I think.
The Cookie Chronicle books are hilarious.
Thank you.
Did you use your kids at all to test the humor?
Oh, do we use our kids to test the humor? Our son August, who was exactly the same age as Ben Yokoyama when the first book came out. He was 8 and Ben was 8, is my test subject. So I give him the first draft of the books, and I sit there and I watch him read it. And if he laughs, I will think that it's funny. And if he looks at me skeptically, I'll say, I'd better work on those jokes a little more.
Few times, though, that your jokes haven't hit, I think.
Well, thank you, Robbi.
I'm just saying.
We don't use...
He's a good first reader, but
is.
I don't think he's ever said,
But he points
He
out,
points out when there's inconsistencies.
or sometimes there's spoilers. And
Yeah.
he's like, don't put a spoiler in the book.
Yeah.
Use your head, Dad. Use better judgment than that. So I think it's very helpful to have kids.
Yes.
Because I hear how kids talk and I know what they think about, at least my kids, and the things they're confused about and curious about and care about. And I think that probably helps me write books for kids better than if I didn't have any kids. But who knows?
I mean, Augie's a master joke teller too.
Yeah,
He's really good at jokes. But they're puns.
Yeah.
And Matthew's not as good at puns.
No.
So maybe you should learn some things from
Puns
Augie.
aren't my jam.
They aren't your strong suit.
Is that how the youth say it?
Nope.
It's not my jam. They're not my jam.
That's how they use
Not like the peanut butter and jelly kind of jam.
1990s
All right.
said it, Matthew.
All right.
All right.
Well, I wasn't
Good
youth
question.
in the 1990s. What can we tell you next, friends?
The Real McCoys is a comedy and a detective series. What do you love about detective stories?
Oh my goodness, that's an excellent question, Abigail. Robbi, tell her how ridiculous it is that I wrote a detective
The
series.
truth is, Matthew is terrible at solving mysteries.
So easily confused, Abigail.
He never get, like, if we watch a movie and there's going to be a twist ending, I will see that coming from a mile away.
And I will wait
And-
till the very end and go,
I not expected. So Matthew is
shocked.
always shocked. And I have to say, the fact that he wrote a mystery book, I was like, Matthew, are you sure
Well,
that you know what's going on? And he was like, no, I don't know. I don't know who did it. I don't know what's happening. I just have to keep writing, and hopefully somebody in the story will figure it out, because
it was
it's
very
not me.
difficult. I just followed Moxie around, and every time she found a clue, I said, oh my gosh, thank goodness there's a clue. And then when she accused somebody, I said, oh, that's the person who stole Eddie the Owl. And then it turns out it wasn't. And so I had to follow around until she accused somebody else. I said, fingers crossed, this time she's caught the crook. And she kept not catching the crook. And finally, we ran out of suspects. And I knew that person had to be the person, or the book was going to be a complete failure. So I wrote that book with my knuckles clenched,
Yes.
hoping that I would figure it out by the end.
But
It was
he wasn't
very-
going to be able to solve the mystery either,
And instead of just retiring as a mystery writer right then and there,
which you should have
I
done.
did 2 more books.
Good.
Oh,
The other two too.
it was very challenging,
Yes.
friends. Not my strong suit.
We have interviewed a number of authors who have had books banned, and this is an issue, and that's very important to us.
That means in both places, kids don't have any access to the books that we have, not be able to see themselves represented in books.
Can you give us your thoughts on this?
You know what I believe in right now is dog banning. I'll be
Yes,
right back.
we're going to ban the dogs. So yeah, my thoughts on book banning, and I think probably I can speak for Matthew, is that ultimately, writing about different experiences and reading about different experiences is beneficial to everyone to help us understand the range and variety of life. That's part of being human. So the idea that we would want to stifle the stories of actual experience just seems, I don't know, it seems counterproductive to me. It doesn't seem like it makes any sense.
It's a missed opportunity for us to learn from each other.
To understand each other a little bit
We
better.
learn from each other by
Yeah.
listening to one another's stories. And if we make certain people's stories unavailable, we can't learn from their experience, and their ideas, and the world suffers. So we think it's a real problem, and we hope everybody's stories can be told and everybody's voices can be shared. It's really important.
We agree. What writer or illustrator has had the most influence on you?
Well, I tell you, a writer that I really loved when I was growing up was Beverly Cleary, who wrote books about a little girl named Ramona and her big sister Beatrice, or Beezus. I don't know if you've ever read those books, but they made me laugh. I think they're part of what made me want to write books that were funny, but also pulled at your heartstrings a little bit. So I think that her books do that really well, and I hope my books do sometimes. I really love the author Daniel Handler, aka Lemony Snicket, in his series of unfortunate event books. Again, super funny, unexpected, surprising writing, which I really like. How about you, Robbi? Any illustrators that you admire?
I mean, I very much admire Quentin Blake.
Mm.
He's sort of a classic. I love his messy, really loose style of illustration. I don't really have that style of illustration in most of the books that we do.
You can admire something that you don't do. Yeah.
It's very different from what I do.
Tell their viewers where to find Quentin Blake illustrations.
Blake has illustrated all the Roald Dahl books, and he's still illustrating. He illustrates a lot of things. But that's what most people know him from Roald Dahl. A more contemporary illustrator who I really admire is Matthew Cordell. His book, Troublegum. Troublegum.
It's about a little pig who blows a huge bubble and it floats him up there and explodes all over his face.
I mean, it is, again, really loose drawings that are so expressive with so little. He does so much work with so little that I really admire that.
But who else do you really like who you got to meet while we were on the Busload of Books tour? John Klassen.
He is, he's another.
He's pretty cool.
There's so many favorites.
He's pretty cool.
He's super nice.
He's really good at what he does.
So he's a writer illustrator,
and as is Matthew Cordell.
And his writing is very funny.
Yeah,
I think his writing is funny.
I agree.
So like funny.
Yes, I wish I could do the illustrations too, so that when Robbi was taking naps, I could illustrate my own books. But
you totally can.
I don't know how to draw pictures.
Very different books.
My pictures are very, very questionable.
They'd be very different.
I need Robbi. I need her. All right, that's all I have to say.
What advice do you have for young people who want to write or illustrate?
Just keep doing it.
Do
it. You have to keep doing it. You'll get better no matter what. Just keep doing it and you'll get better.
I'm 48 years old, and every single day I've been alive, I've become a better writer, whether I've written that day or not.
That's true.
You get to be a better writer by looking at the world, by smelling things, by touching things, by talking to people, by climbing things, by jumping off of things. All of those things make you a better writer. Friends, yes, exactly. By going like that, everything you do makes you a better writer. If you want to be a writer, you have to practice a lot. You have to develop an ear for what you think is good writing. And the only way to do that is to write and read it and share it with people and get their opinion, get your own opinion, keep writing and writing and writing.
But also, like you said, just existing, living your life makes you a better writer.
Eating artichokes makes you a better writer. It's true.
I just did that today.
Throwing a softball makes you a better writer. Jumping into a lake makes you a better writer. Make sure
experience that you have that now you can
make sure it's deep enough before you jump into it.
Yes.
Don't hurt your toes. Even though hurting your toes makes you a better writer.
Another experience.
All right.
So there you go.
There you go.
Building yourself up makes you a better writer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It does. It's pretty encouraging that no matter what you do, you become a better writer, except not writing does not make you a better writer. So write. All right.
Finally, it's time for our Turbo 10.
10 rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready.
I'm going to try.
Okay. Number 1. What is your favorite phrase to use?
Am I a phrase guy? What do I say?
It's right. I say right or I say right.
Oh.
I use it I use it as filler, right?
I'm going to say that's my jam.
Oh my God.
Because I used it earlier.
Oh, that's terrible.
I don't have a phrase. I need a phrase. Okay, I'm going to get a phrase.
Number 2. What is one subject you'd love to learn more about?
History.
Music.
I would like to know more about history.
Music.
The world is full of stories that somebody just lived. Lots of people lived. History.
Music.
Music also for me. What about you? History?
No, music.
Just music. All right.
History. Yes,
Robbi wants to play bass guitar in a rock and roll band.
Singer, but I can't.
She's too busy.
Can't play bass.
You could rock out so good, Robbi Behr. All right.
Okay, question number 3.
3. What is your go-to snack food?
Cheese balls. Cheese balls. Wait, where you go? You can't. She didn't say go to get your snack food. She said, "What is your go-to snack food?" Oh boy.
Cookies. I had to go to get them in my office. I love them.
So loud and awful spicy. Stop. That is the worst.
Number 4.
What was your favorite book growing up?
My favorite book growing up was, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, the original book. If you've only seen the movie, go read the book. It's wonderful. The illustrations are great. The concept is so interesting and unique. Go check it out. I loved it. I have it in the other room. Should I go get it?
No.
Okay.
No!
I think my favorite book was The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Very good. Funny,
Funny.
full of ideas. I love it.
Yes.
Great book.
Next question.
Unless they're done.
5. If you could teleport somewhere right now, where would you go?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I would go to the top of Pine Cobble Mountain in Williamstown, Massachusetts, and watch the sunset. That's a town where we lived for almost 10 years. It's a beautiful, we like old rumbly rolling mountains, and Pine Cobble has a beautiful view of the surrounding valley. That's where I would go right now. You.
I think I would go to, that's such a hard question. I would go to Tuscany in Italy.
Ooh, that's a beautiful place.
Beautiful.
And you could have some olive oil.
Some delicious
You could
things.
get some fresh baked bread.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
yes.
could I come with you?
No, you're
No.
being Pine Cobble.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Fine.
Next question.
All right.
Number 6. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Oh.
Ooh.
I
Teleportation. That's what I would do.
would never have to sleep so I could write
but
more
that's a good-
books.
That's a good one. That's
I
a good
run
one.
out of time every day. I want to write books and I
Yeah.
get too tired.
Yes, me too. I
All
would
right.
do that.
All right.
I have to keep up with Matthew.
7. What
Yes.
was your favorite cartoon as a kid?
Ooh. He-Man or G.I. Joe. He-Man or G.I. Joe. He-Man. He
Yeah.
was so cool. He held up that stick and lightning came out and he had a scary enemy friend called Skeletor. I loved it.
I had Flintstones or the Jetsons.
Ooh,
And I think maybe it
that's so
is-
funny. Prehistoric or
I know,
futuristic?
I
Which do you
think it was
pick?
Maybe Jetsons.
All right.
Number 8. What is one of your favorite rainy day activities?
Oh,
Oh.
sleeping, obviously, for Robbie.
Just doing nothing.
And my
That's
favorite
what I
activity
do.
is not sleeping. So we get along well. We never see each other on rainy days. I'm like going like this all day long.
writing.
And Robbie's going
I'm dead
like
asleep.
this all
Yeah.
day long. Yeah.
Number 9. If you could have any 3 dinner guests, who would they be?
3 dinner guests. Well, obviously you guys.
Yes, that's 2.
And
Uh,
let's see who else. Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
oh.
So it would be me, you guys, and Dwayne the Rock Johnson. We would have dinner. We'd flex our muscles, and then we would knock down a wall with the sledgehammer. Yeah.
Go.
He's got nothing on you, Abigail.
I was going to say, I think he would eat all of the food, and we would be like,
Dwayne the Rock
we-
Johnson is
Then
extremely
without Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
polite. He, in fact, would cut our steak for us.
Oh, have you read how much food he eats every day?
I believe that he's a hungry guy,
An
but
extraordinary.
he's also a generous-hearted man, and he would share.
I'm saying.
Who would you pick, Robbie?
Oh, I didn't know I had to.
You have to pick 3 people for dinner.
Well, you two,
Okay,
obviously.
and then?
And then. But does this person have to be alive?
Yeah.
No, no rules. Even
Nikolai Tesla.
Oh.
I want to know all about his scientific secrets
Yes.
that died with him.
Yes.
That
Yes.
he was going to help
That's
the
a
world with.
good one, Robbie.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That's it.
Number 10. What is the best piece of advice you were ever given?
What's the best piece of advice I've ever given?
You've ever given or been given?
I've never given a good piece of advice, you guys. I have terrible advice. That's why everyone around me is constantly running into walls. What's the best piece of advice I've ever given? Yes.
Ever been given or you've ever given?
Ever been given?
Okay.
Been
ever
given.
been
Thank
given.
goodness.
Yes.
I've been given so much advice. You know what my dad always said when I was growing up? He said, take initiative. And I was like, what does that mean? And it means don't sit around waiting for things to happen to you or for people to ask you to do things. Keep your eyes open, see what needs to be done in the world, and contribute. If you see a dirty towel lying in the middle of the floor, pick it up and put it in the wash.
Don't
If-
wait for somebody to tell you to do it.
Right, right.
You know it needs to be done.
If no one has written a book about a boy named Benyo Karama who gets confused, write that book. All right. If you get the idea, take initiative, write things, jump into pools, and what? Take the initiative and jump into that pool.
All right,
All right.
all right.
Don't wait for someone else to
You're
tell you to do it.
stretching that
I'm stretching
advice
it.
a little
What's
bit.
your advice, Robbie?
Gosh, I don't know. To take from Nike, just do it. Just do it. Just
true.
do it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about whether you can do it or not. Just do it.
I was a little bit worried that we wouldn't be able to spend a year living in a school bus. I didn't think we could raise the money. I didn't think we could live in that little bus together. And Robbie's like, Matthew, we can do it. We're just going to do it. And she was right. We just did it. And it was the best thing we ever did. So we took initiative and just did it.
There we go. We merged both of our best
We
advices.
did not meet Dwayne The Rock Johnson on our tour, but we did find a wax sculpture of him, and we took pictures of ourselves next to it. That's all I got for you,
Yeah.
friends.
All right.
You were amazing, and thank you so much for doing that.
You are amazing.
For spending
What?
this time with us.
We can't wait to read your future books.
Thank you,
Excellent.
friends. It's
Thank
really
you very
nice to talk to you. Goodbye.